To be your own people, man. Your old co-host, man. Oh man.
Jason Jones, your partner over on the J Street Vibes podcast.
Well, we know where his alliances are.
Well, we always knew his alliances were never with the 49ers, though I did not expect Jay to join the stream in a Philadelphia Eagles jersey.
That's why I flipped in the bird with the Stone Cold meme on Sunday. That's why I'm trying to link up with Cowboys fans.
I've been had this. I got this. I got Reggie White. See, growing up back in Long Beach, we had a period where the Raiders were banned from schools for gang reasons.
Jeez.
So I was trying to find a team I could wear to school that wouldn't, draw the ire of authorities. And I liked Randall Cunningham. I was a Reggie White fan. And I thought Buddy Ryan was the coolest coach ever because he was all for abusing quarterbacks. So I would roll with the Eagles. And I had them all, and then as I got older, the Eagles, I think, drafted 3 guys from my high school.
Damn, okay.
Winston Justice, Deshaun Jackson, and Brandon Whiting. I actually went to school with Brandon. His dad would coach me. So I've always had an affinity for the Eagles, and should they do the Lord's work on Sunday and make Niner fans cry, I will celebrate like I'm from Philly.
It's the 3rd straight week he's asked for somebody to do the Lord's work.
Yeah, well, he's increased his time this week.
Well, Gino and Dak, they're kind of.
Well, this is your boy, though. This is your boy.
Oh, yeah.
This is your boy. This is his frat brother.
Yeah, so he gonna do the damn thing. Yeah, he ain't. I know Nick Bosa like to get down and try to tackle a certain kind of quarterback.
Hey.
He ain't gonna get this one.
It's lit on Sunday.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. If Nick Bosa has more than 2 sacks on Sunday, I'm on an investigation.
Look. I'm gonna tell y'all both. Maybe Nick done turned over a new leaf. He don't have a sack off.
I'm just saying, word on the street is this playoff run gets him a little amped up more.
You got it all wrong, Jay. He didn't turn over a new leaf.
He left.
He don't have a sack all playoffs.
He left Gino alone. He left Dak alone.
He didn't turn over a new leaf.
He had a conversation with Reverend Al Sharpton. He was like, I ain't gonna do this no more.
He's different. He's different. This whole playoff run is like, man, I guess I'll go ahead and hold up now. I know the first couple, I was like, man, he go after Russell Wilson a little different than he do Jared Goff. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a music thing. I don't know.
Can you confirm my suspicion in that you put that jersey on right before this hit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, combined with the fact that he got it in the early 2000s. You see that what's that, a 58? That jersey?
No, this is Randall Cunningham.
No, the size. Look at the sleeves. They go down to your forearms.
So what?
Jay ain't really a slim cut dude.
No, but Jay, he still wears his stuff today differently than that jersey right now.
This is like a what size? Whatever. Who cares? That don't matter. I mean, that's irrelevant to what's going to happen.
The Eagles did fail by staying with this like dark green. I think they're Kelly green, or it's Kelly green right now. I don't know, but that particular green is much better. They need to go back to that full time, but they're staying with the dark green, which is why they'll lose.
And the Niners should stop wearing black.
We did.
Thank God. That was terrible.
Wore better than you guys.
No.
I don't even know why. Hey, I don't even know why we talking football. I don't even know why.
I don't either.
I don't even know why. Because my team's still playing. Your team hadn't played in all year. Right?
Hey, all year. My team plays on Sunday.
See, this is what we got to go. When I say it's Niners versus everybody, it really is Niners versus everybody.
Not really.
Right, so we built for it.
We built for it. Jay pulls up with like a Joe Burrow jersey next week or something.
Hey, I will wear the jersey of any team that eliminates the 49ers just because I love walking around Northern California trolling them. Like back in the day, when I went up to, was it Portland? I bought a Seahawks shirt just to wear in the Bay Area. I ain't no Seahawks fan.
You absolutely.
I got a Legion of Boom shirt, and after they beat the Sherman Crabtree play, I just was go to Target in that shirt.
Hey,
And get dirty looks and laugh. I mean, I had no allegiance to the Seahawks other than it made people in the Bay Area mad at me.
When I posted that tweet the other day talking about, flipping the bird, well, Stone Cold was, not me, flipping the bird to Raiders fans trying to join up with Cowboys fans, I had a lot of Raider fans talking about, oh, KC, you're delusional. You're just making up stuff. This didn't really happen. Ain't no real Raider fan doing this. I'm telling you.
No, I wanted the Cowboys to beat them.
You guys see it.
No, I don't care. I mean, if I didn't live in Northern California, I probably wouldn't care because I live in Northern California. Oh, I wanted the Cowboys to win. But Dak was trying to get a game ball from the wrong team.
They didn't.
That's a high level of petty that I can appreciate.
I mean, this is what I do. I mean, there's a reason why my friends say I should be part of the player haters ball. Like they were like that. It was missing me. This is what I do.
Yeah,
I have no shame in admitting that my only joy of the postseason is watching Niner fans get so close, only to be disappointed. Like in an ideal situation, they'll be leading up to the fourth quarter again, and then someone will drop an interception or something crazy, or
we're on the road again. I mean, it's a little gritty.
Be up by like 11.
Hey!
We got
have a big old
Monty
celebration.
McNair has agreed on a contract extension.
Let's go, damn it. Let's go.
From Adrian Wojnarowski
What in the world is going on?
After orchestrating a remarkable franchise renaissance, Sacramento Kings general manager Monty McNair has agreed on a contract extension. Under McNair, who is in the final months of his deal, Kings are third in the West and on the cusp of ending 16-year postseason absence. This, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, Monty McNair gets his contract extension.
Shout out.
Life is good. See, light the beam.
Shout out to the Kings. Shout out to Monty McNair. Bag is secured by Monty McNair. Now let's go ahead and end this thing, man. Let's end this playoff run, baby. Come on.
Yes, indeed.
He really does deserve it, Jay and Damien. I mean, the guy, what he's done in about 2 years. And he was moving slow for me early on, and I was like getting frustrated. But
it was very slow.
Has he missed? Like, I'm not saying he'll never miss, but so far, has he missed?
I'm trying to think. Now, what are we defining as a miss?
Like a guy, I guess Hassan Whiteside is a miss, right? Glenn Robinson III.
Hassan Whiteside, that wasn't a move designed to make the team help the team win. Your additions are Glenn Robinson III and Hassan. You're not trying to win. You weren't trying to win. And now that they've actually tried to win in this the last 12 months, Monet McNair, that's out right there.
Oh, that's Monet. Yeah, that's
Zeke's family finally got in there one way or another.
It's official. She here. She here.
Monet McNair.
Zeke didn't make it, but Monet got in the family.
Finally. All it took was 50 Cent getting his liquor in here, and we good to go.
You see the vision. You see how 50 orchestrated this whole thing.
Finally happened.
But I mean,
I think it's the right decision. I mean, I don't know what else you could have asked of Monty, given what he inherited. He made the coaching hires worked out this year. He's drafted. I mean, he's got 3 solid first round picks, or are we on number 4 now with Tyrese, Davion? 3. He hasn't missed. When was the last time you said the Kings drafted 3 NBA players in a row in the lottery? I mean, that was one reason why the streak has been so long. They just couldn't get right in the lottery. You know what I mean? He's did that right. It's a bonus trade. I remember about this time a year ago, people wanted to, see him in the parking lot over trading Tyrese.
See him in the parking
lot. People were
Nah, that's real talk.
I remember people got mad at me for saying I liked the trade, said I was a hater. You must hate Tyrese. I'm like, no, I don't hate Tyrese. I think Tyrese is great. But for the way the team is set up, Tyrese was basically your backup point guard because you'd already given De'Aaron the max. And to me that long-term deal of the Tyrese De'Aaron backcourt wasn't going to work. And and part of being a good GM is when you draft well, you then have assets that teams want, and then you can flip those assets. So, and this couldn't have worked out almost any better. And I think one of the underrated parts of last year's trade deadline is coming up with Trey Lyles.
Yeah.
I mean, I
He's
just
been
think
incredible.
Yeah, and plus Monty's a Dodger fan, so you can't,
nobody's perfect.
You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that.
You
Having a
absolutely
Dodger
can't
fan
go
in your
wrong.
front office.
That's very wrong. That is
what did everybody else get you since Petrie? You got you a Dodger fan. Look at you now. So I need you to put some respect on that. I need you to acknowledge them. We'll put you on trial like they put Sami Zayn on trial for
that. Is Monty's obviously there's a trade deadline approaching. Is Monty's biggest order of business Harrison Barnes?
I don't know. Order of business in the sense of like keeping him?
In my opinion, yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't move Harrison.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
you want to address this one way or another. Obviously, the trade deadline is coming up. I don't think trading Harrison Barnes is part of any conversation. But do you have conversations with Harrison Barnes? I don't think sitting out the trade deadline is Monty's plan either, though I don't know that Kings fans would be terribly upset if that wound up being something that happened. But is finding out if Harrison, look, you're not a part of anything on this trade deadline. We want you to be around here for the next couple of years. I mean, we all thought Harrison was gone. We all thought Harrison wanted to be gone before this season started. And now, you see the way the team's playing. You hear some of his, his post-game stuff, his practice stuff, like maybe he's bought into this being different, being new, not being what he's been a part of for the last, God, is it 4 or 5 years now?
Man, Harrison hasn't been part of winning since what, 2016?
Yeah, Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, he was a leading scorer in Dallas, but those weren't good teams. And yeah, they've been trying to trade. I mean, the Twitter rumor mill's been trading Harrison for 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of it is, just hey, he's got the declining value in the contract. He's a veteran, he'd help a good team. But I think the mentality's got to be different this year. This isn't about pawning off, getting off of contracts and, maybe we can bring in some guy who we can get a look going into the offseason. You're about trying to supplement this team. And I think in the past, the supplemental moves were kind of like, it's nice, but it wasn't going to really move anything. Like, I like when they added DeLon Wright, but that wasn't like, a foundational, we're going to do something big type addition. And I think now, really, if they don't make a move and they just kind of like look at the buyout market, I mean, that could be a way for them to go. Just because they don't really have to, they don't have the pressure of if you don't make a move, what's going to happen. They're not in that, they're not sitting at like 23 and 24 like the entire Western Conference seems to be right now. They're not in that, that bunch at the bottom. They'd have to have a major slip to, all of a sudden be going, oh my God, we're in 9th. And I don't see them having a slippage like that outside of, if say De'Aaron or Sabonis were to miss significant time. So I just think the approach has got to be is different now. You're trying to bolster, before it was like, well, maybe we can collect some assets, maybe make a deal where we don't give up a lot. Like last year you moved Bagley and Parker, you don't want him back. And you figure let's get something for him. And that worked out pretty well for them.
It worked out great.
And this year, I don't think you break up, the core of this team unless it's like a blockbuster move. And outside of that, you can wait for see who gets bought out, see what vets are out there on 10 days. Maybe you bring in, I just think it's a different approach, and I think this is probably the first time since Harrison signed his extension that we're not talking about who wants Harrison Barnes, or you're not going to walk into the locker room and the day before the deadline, everyone's going, okay, who's not going to be here tomorrow? I mean, they've had some crazy deadline days where guys were mad after the deadline. They were still on the team. And I've been around some of those guys. They were like, what did I do to not get traded?
Yeah,
Like,
no need
I
to
was
bring
trying to
buddy.
yeah. They don't have to worry about that. Now, I think guys are happy. Guys want, winning fixes everything. And that was one of the people who always try to tell me that no one will go to Sacramento. I'm like, if they're winning, they will. People signed with Oklahoma City when they were winning.
Mm-hmm.
No one, and if it was all about the location, the Lakers, Clippers, and the Knicks and Heat would get everybody they want. And they don't because, winning and management matters. I think now the management situation is settled, with Monty getting the extension. You have a coach, GM, owner, all on the same accord. You don't have a coach that the GM didn't bring in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the most stable they've been probably since the Petrie days.
Yeah, for sure. Adding to Adrian Wojnarowski in his report, he said the Kings are working to finalize a new deal with assistant GM Wes Welker too. Source said McNair Wes Wilcox.
Man, wow, that's diversity in Wes Welker.
But that'd be great. That would be that boy. Wes Welker and Monte McNair.
Let's try this again.
The Kings are really thinking outside the box in the front office. They got Mary J. Blige and a slot receiver running things.
Let's try this again. From Adrian Wojnarowski, Kings are working to finalize a new deal with assistant GM Wes Wilcox too. Source says McNair and Wilcox have worked closely together in reshaping the organization into a Western Conference contender.
Indeed, they have.
And Wes, he deserves his credit as well for his role in this. Jason, to the best of your knowledge, like you've been around the league for so long, I assume the Kings didn't beat the Grizzlies by 33, and Vivek woke up and said, today's a good day to make an extension for Monty McNair. And Monty McNair said, you know what? I accept. Deal's done. I don't think that's how it went down. How long do you think this has been in the works? Like, I know, and I only ask that because people have been kind of freaking out over it for a while. Is this something that you think maybe they had been planning throughout the offseason and it rolled into the season, or they weren't sure during the season and then they saw enough? How do you think it played out in your opinion?
Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was, over a period of time. I think we're past the days of people. Maybe we're past the days of everyone wondering, okay, will one loss change Vivek's mind completely? Like, what if he had the extension ready on Friday? They played the Sixers. Like, nope. Then he's like, okay, Monday. Okay, he can have it back. I don't think we're, at that stage of things. I think a lot of times I would have been shocked if they got to the off season and there was nothing done. That would have been a bad sign. You get to April, May, they make the playoffs and it's like, well, what happens with the GM? I didn't think it was that would have been a bad sign. So I think this is one of those things that you talk about, you get an idea that, Monty wants to be around. Now, how do we make this thing work? What number does Monty want or need to stay? All those things, but yeah, you're right. This didn't happen. I don't think, well, of course I'll say that and somebody will tell me differently. I don't think Vivek watched the game and says, you know what? Hey, let's ask Bibby real quick. Bibby, should I keep him? Okay, done.
Let's hope he
didn't. That would be a great story that if it was Vivek conferred with 50 Cent and Mike Bibby and made the decision.
Mike Bibby looked at him and said, who's Monty McNair? Why would you sign him to an extension? I don't understand. Can I read Woj put the tweet out, and I don't think we've talked about this one time. The tweet from Woj, ESPN story on the Sacramento Kings extending GM Monty McNair, an executive of the year frontrunner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah,
he's got to be.
Yeah. Absolutely,
he's got to be. I mean, yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer to me. He's got to be. I mean, They make the. I'm trying to think around the league. Who else? I mean, if you're talking about like front runners or whatever, who else?
Early in the season, it was Griff, with what the Pelicans were doing, but that's kind of
Or
done.
Danny, or I think Utah would get some votes just for the way they fleeced Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Minnesota would not get it.
Yeah,
Was it Tim
Minnesota.
Conley? Who's that? He wouldn't get executive of the year.
Not at
So
all.
I mean,
him.
but like I said, a lot of times these votes come with the whole narrative thing, and no one's going to have a better narrative amongst the executives than Monty.
No,
I mean, the downtrodden Kings couldn't make the playoffs since before iPhones were invented, all that stuff. And here, he makes a trade a year ago that the fans aren't necessarily like, because who the heck is Sabonis? He played in Indiana. A lot of folks didn't know about him, and it's all worked out. They straight jacked Atlanta for Kevin Herter. That was a no ski mask right there. I don't know how. Every time I watch the Kings play, I'm like, how? And they traded Kevin Herter. Why?
I don't think Atlanta knows what they're doing. I think that's
No,
what
I
it
don't think
boils
so
down
either.
to. I don't think Atlanta knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't think they know what they want. I don't think they know what they're doing. None of that.
In a league where shooting is at a premium, why are you giving away shooters?
Bad job.
Hey, it's about time the Kings got over on somebody, not the other way around.
Man, well, that's good news for the Sacramento Kings.
Great news.
It is. It's tremendous. If you're just tuning in, Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN reports that Monty McNair, Sacramento Kings general manager, has agreed to a contract extension just weeks now ahead of the trade deadline. That conversation that had left a lot of people scratching their head can now be put to bed. Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox as well will be the general managers and assistant general managers of this team. They will be a part of the Kings front office for a long time. People in the chatty house asking for details on the contract. Those things normally aren't released when it comes to front office personnel. I'm not really sure why, but they're not. I hope Monty got the bag, though, because he's absolutely earned it. This is a team that a lot of Vegas books had pegged at 33.5 wins to 34.5 wins. And Jay, they got their 27th win of the season by beating the second place team in the Western Conference by 33.
Man,
incredible.
No, you can't complain too much about that.
That was one of the strangest games I remember.
That game, I was ready to be like, oh my God, here they go again. And then now they're up by 20. I'm like, okay, I guess they got this one. I'm like, they had made like 45 threes and they were up 6.
Yeah, that was bro. That was so sketchy.
I was like, what is going on here?
The fact that they couldn't get separation was bizarre. And then they got chased down, like we were all afraid would happen. And then they just went off. They went off and they became the 89-90 Pistons. They just stopped the Grizzlies from scoring and dominated that game.
Grizzlies had about 6 points in the fourth for about 8 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah, seriously. I talked about it earlier, Jason. I said this was the almost full gamut of emotions in the whole roller coaster that you get from a Kings team. They have the offensive firepower to go off at any point in time, but they don't play defense, so the teams will always have an opportunity to come back. And then they do. And then the Kings play good enough defense for about 4 or 5 minutes, and you combine that with another explosion offensively, and you've got a 30-point win. Like that is a lot of what this Kings team is. You got the absolute best of what they could be and the absolute worst of what they could be.
They take you, it's a road. They take you everywhere. Yeah, it's like being in a crazy relationship. Sometimes you're like, I love you, I hate you. It's like the Kendrick Lamar Cry Together song.
I was just about to say that. That's 100%.
Yeah, you going back and forth, but by the end, it's all good.
Indeed it is. Jay, we appreciate you. Elite trolling, as always. You are a role model for many.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay, hey man, humble hearts over here, man. We're a little gritty 49ers team, just trying to go on the road and keep it close. That's all we're doing.
I need the Eagles to win because God forbid I got to root for the Chiefs to beat them, beat the Niners.
And we already know he's already done that before. I mean, what's up with you Raider fans, man? I don't know, man.
No,
I would never root for the Cowboys to beat the Raiders. I don't understand you guys.
So, like I said, I have no issue with the Niners as a team. It is the fans because I live out here. If I lived in LA, I wouldn't care probably. But because I live up here and all the Niner fans up here do things to me like, well, why don't you join us? No, leave me alone. Won't you come over here with us? I don't want to. Your tailgates are boring. No. I don't want any part of that. Leave me be. Let me have my 6-11 team.
It's all yours, Jay.
Yeah, nobody else wants them.
J Street Vibes.
We might have a 50-year-old quarterback next season. Who knows?
You might. We appreciate you. Thank you, Jason. Jason Jones, the Athletic right there. And, of course, the J Street Vibes podcast.